So welcome to Challenge the Road. Let's go through some updates from JLR because it's been a busy week. It's been very busy at Challenge the Road. I was at Brands Hatch yesterday. I'm actually on AirPods tonight because I left the microphones there because we had a big track day. We've had lots going on. We've had the Celica return. There's bits going on with the P1. The Aston competition car has arrived, so we're really pleased with that. But we've got to go through all these updates from JLR. There's been some news out today from the CEO, which I want to read through. I've got some updates here from JLR on numbers and bits. We've been on BBC Radio. You may have seen that video, and we'll talk a bit about that. So let's just go through the radio interview. I was contacted saying, would I go on Radio Stoke? I said I would. I had no prep for that. I was told a time. They rung me before to say, are you confident in the numbers you've given? Which put me a little bit on the back foot because I don't know exact numbers, but I was pretty confident with the information I had, and I gave them the source that I got it from. But also I do know that figures were not including ones being stolen from actual Land Rover sites. So I'm quite confident in the numbers, but by the by, I think the interview was pretty good. Obviously it's very difficult. I don't want to get caught out, even though I've got nothing to hide and we've got nothing to hide really. We're just giving the situation as it is. There's nothing made up. But yeah, I felt a little bit on the spot and was thrown quite a few sort of, maybe awkward questions, but not a massive problem for me. And I think it went pretty well, but it's given more exposure. And if we can help one owner in the country, then we've done well. Now, on here, I've got a list of bits I want to go through, but the first one is just this update from the head of Land Rover today. And I'll go on to a few bits because the other progress I've made is one, obviously these weekly reports from JLR, but also I'm very close to signing an insurance deal for Land Rover owners. There will be some bits I need to go through on that, and I'm actually at the paperwork stage at the moment, so it could be good. I've actually explained to them that really what I want to do is have almost a community of people with insurance, and we can actually sort of share a little bit of data between us. So I'll give you an example. What I've said to them is I said, well, if we've got all this security we've added to the car and we insure with you, we want better premiums if, say, we have, 500 of you have insurance, myself included, and we don't have many thefts because we've done all the right things. I feel like we should be rewarded. So that's where I am with them. They do need quite a few, like 500 owners. I don't know if that's going to be too many for us. I hope not. I think that there's quite a few people watching. There's quite a few people want a better deal. It might be tied in a bit with your home insurance, but at the end of the day, we want to get the price down, and we want to get these residuals back. It's really clear and simple. I said from the start, I want the insurance down and I want to keep the residual Land Rovers high. That's it. I'm not really that interested in anything else, and I am getting there. I know last week I might have appeared tired, but it is quite a lot of work because I'm thinking all the time, and I don't want to put us in a position that we make a mistake, and I don't think we have. So anyway, his response is the boss of Land Rover has denied that his company vehicles are especially vulnerable to theft. Okay, I'm just going to read it as it is, and I'm not going to make an opinion. Adrian Mardell said the Range Rover is not Britain's most stolen vehicle. Well, that is correct because it's the Fiesta. And reports about storing insurance costs for UK owners. So I think that his point is that we see here, he's accused the insurance industry of failing to take into account all the data when setting cover and premiums. It's quite a big statement for insurance companies. Last year, JLR launched its own insurance, and after some drivers were unable to get cover at all. Okay, so he's sort of having a go at them a little bit there. Now, I just want to refer back to here because I didn't do a check on JLR's own insurance for me to insure the vehicle I just had. That was really out of courtesy to JLR because my insurance company did not want to have a Range Rover on my policy. They've come back now to say they could do something, but JLR run a quote for me from my postcode and have come back and said it's coming out at £415 a month for the press car they gave me. So roughly £5,000 a year for me to have that car. That's still quite a lot. And also, just to realise, JLR's insurance policy is a 30-day contract. It is not a year contract. That is why you're seeing some people are having stuff cancelled because they're on 30-day terms. That's not great. It's not much security, especially most of us will finance the car and it'll be over a term, and we'll be thinking of having the car longer than 1 month, I assume. So that's not great, and this is still quite a lot of money. I'm waiting for my insurance company to do a deal, and this is where I've led to other things. I actually rung my insurance company to say to them, I want a deal for Challenge the Road owners. That's when we got into the talk about Land Rover. Then this week they've come back to me saying, Richard, we want to do something for your viewers. We want to do something for you. And I said, well, give me the terms. I can create content. I can make it that Challenge the Road viewers know how to secure the cars very well and in a position to get the best quote. So I'm really onto that with them. Let's go back this side. So it is not Britain's most stolen vehicle as reported incorrectly. Mr. Mardell adding that he wanted to correct what he described as misinformation and a myth about thefts, in particular where Range Rovers were concerned. I've had 2 friends have Range Rovers stolen this week, just so you know. I am on all the Facebook groups. It doesn't look like a myth to me. And when I talk to people, they are worried about their cars. And I'm getting a lot of people come up to me, even yesterday at Brands. People were coming up to me saying, Richard, I watched your videos, really appreciate what you do. It's actually really nice because sometimes I feel like, I'm on my own. Even though you got comments and stuff, I'm still like researching everything on my own. I don't talk to anyone but the mirror when I'm trying to decide what I do for Land Rover and going forward. It follows reporting, including by Bloomberg, which is probably one of the most rated news sessions, which said the Range Rover Velar model was the most stolen car in the year to March 2023, with more than 2 out of every 100 reported stolen, citing data from the UK Drivers and Vehicle Licensing Agency, DVLA. A wave of car thefts in recent years has concerned some car makers that it may have a knock-on effect on demand for vehicles, particularly luxury models, which we know. Range Rovers, and often used by celebrities, politicians, and even royalty, have received much of the attention. Some high-profile owners, but lots of people have Land Rovers now. I know it's Range Rovers, but you've got Evoques, you've got everyone, we like them cars. The cars can cost, just trying to see. So Mr. Mardell said thefts of Range Rovers have fallen 27% last year compared with 2022, and new models were especially secure. Yes, it is showing that the newer ones are more secure, but that's only a year-old cars. There's a lot of people with 18 to 22. Let's carry on. Of the latest Range Rover model, he said only 11 out of a total of 12,800 sold had been stolen, according to police data. Good stats, that's good. There is no reason whatsoever why an insurance company should not gladly and readily insure those vehicles. Yes, but that's only the 2023 models. We're talking about 18 to 22 and back from that. Here we go. There is no reason whatsoever why insurance companies should not gladly and readily insure those vehicles. Zero reason in any part of the country, he said. Zero reason. These are his words. The insurance industry clearly are not using the information and the data. They are very slow to respond to data. One owner in North London this week was quoted £890 a month for insurance. I've been forced to declare my Range Rover off-road, she said. I'll just go back to this. JLR also announced a 10 million investment in vehicle security to help prevent so-called keyless theft. But I'll go back to the MD's video where he said we had previously spent 10 million. It now goes on to say it has so far spent 15 million updating older vehicles with new security software. For example, prevent thieves from cloning remote car keys, as well as funding police analytics. Okay, well, fine. Now, I run some figures on this. This is quite interesting because I went back through it and thought, well, how many cars have been stolen from sort of 18 to 22? So let's just say it's 20,000. The profit on replacing that car, they may not have been replaced. People might have had, so I'm just covering myself there. They may have had a payout and not taken the car. But I was just running some numbers, and if you know my background, a lot of it's in accounting and lawyer stuff. And I think they've made 30 to 40 million on replacing these cars, and they've spent 15 million updating. Now, that is an estimate. So I'm going to say that's an estimate. But if you've had a car stolen and you've replaced it, you've built another one. See what I mean? See where I'm getting? So I think we've done, a fantastic job trying to get this out there, trying to get more people to be more secure, and it is helping them. Whether they helped enough before, but there's some numbers I want to go through. Here we are. So last bit, Mr. Mardell said JLR was providing funding to police authorities in order to improve security at ports and prevent stolen vehicles being shipped out of the country. Okay, so we're basically saying there's not enough policing. They're going to help. That's a good thing. He said the technology used by criminal gangs should be illegal, and the company was working with the government to help get laws changed. Criminals won't care if that's illegal anyway, because they're criminals. So I don't think that's going to make much difference. But the port stuff could, and that could really help. I think, the more we're doing by double locking and doing all these things we spoke about is helping. And there's some data on here. I was going to do the most stolen cars for 2023, but I think that'd be another video because there's a lot to go through. Now, this is the JLR email, which I try and get every week, and I push for that for us to go through. And there's some interesting bits. So I said about the quote for me, £415 a month, roughly 5,000 a year. Now, there's an interesting point on Ghost Immobiliser here. It says, Ghost, whilst an aftermarket immobiliser doesn't void warranty, the install is invasive and the levels of install are variable. If an installation causes damage, then that could cause a warranty issue. We recommend tracker retrieve, as it does not intervene with the electrical architecture. Now, this is going back to Ghost being in the CAN bus, as far as I'm aware. I'm not a technician, but that is it. Insurance is a problem. Yes, we understand the challenges around insurance that some clients have been having, and we are alleviating this pressure as a priority. This is a long email. There's a lot on here, and I'll try and just sort of condense it down for you because I know I'm taking up your time. Thefts have been coming down in 2023. So if we look at DVLA reports, Range Rover models down 20% in thefts in 2023 to 2022. That's good. Range Rover Sport, which is probably the highest one, are down 28%, which is good. They're coming down. I think that, we're being all the more aware as well. And I'll give you an example of something that happened actually. When I was out, I had the new car. And I went to the garage and I had my PA with me. She was behind me and she wanted to get some fuel. So I went in the garage as well. She went in to get the fuel. I went in and I parked on the side and I thought, you know what, I'll go in and get a sandwich, as you do. I parked up and I couldn't lock the car. I'd done a video of this. I don't know if I have time to put it in here, but I'd done a video. I thought I couldn't lock it. And now there was 4 other cars, and one of the cars was like a 4x4, and I couldn't quite see the person's head. I could just see their hair. And I thought, right, what am I going to do now? So anyway, I thought it's me. Sometimes there's on-off switches and you don't quite get them right. So I went forward in the car, reversed back, went through it, turned the engine off, got out, couldn't lock it. I thought, am I being stupid here? Got back in, went forward, went back, stopped the car, got out, done everything correctly, got out, couldn't lock the car. I thought, for God's sake, why can't I lock the car? So anyway, I went and got my PA, she got her fuel. I said, I can't come in. Can you stay by my car? She said, yeah, I'll stay by the car. So she stood by the car. I went in, got a sandwich, come out, and was able to lock it and unlock it. Now, I don't know if this is part of the problem where there's jammers. And I spoke to someone else about this, and they said, Richard, the garages are prime positions for car theft. And I thought, yeah, you're right. And I was going to go back up to that garage and just test it again, because it done my head in. I was like, well, why does this not lock? And I haven't got to the bottom of that, and I haven't had enough time to really look into it, but it might be something you have found on these newer cars. Also, I didn't have keyless entry on the car I was provided, just so you know. I didn't have it. I had to press a button, and the button's on the handle, and that would open the door. Because I had 2 coffees, and I went there and I'm like that, and I'm thinking open, nothing. So new cars haven't got keyless entry as far as I'm aware, and that was the car I had. Going back to this report, they're saying that they launched their insurance in October 23, and they provided 12,900 quotes, more than 6,000 quotes, and the average policy is 185 per month. Ours is a top tier cover for our clients at a competitive price, reflective of the luxury market. And this is where I go back to where they want to be very high end. The UWB key technology, you say in your video, UWB is 2018 to 22. This is it doesn't stop. I just want to try and understand this myself. They are 2 different fixes for 2 different methods of key. As you recall, I said UWB was introduced in 2018 and was rolled out across the portfolio at new model year introductions. Okay, that's not how I perceived it when I was there. I'm happy to say maybe I was wrong, not normally, but because I, off the record chats with them, I was so keen on that. I thought it was from 2018 onwards, but it was only introduced when they had a new model. So, I had lots of people messaging going, mine's a 2021. So maybe there was a newer model Velar in 21 and that didn't have the key. This is why we gave you a visual comparison so the clients can check. It is important to note if the car had the BCM update, drivers are protected against theft, or as is sometimes the case, they forget to lock the car, it cannot be driven away. Now this is important because I've done a few more numbers. Update on security enhancements, more than 80,000 are complete and they're doing 200 a week. Now, I'll give you some rough numbers I done. So 200 a week, 800 a month, 9,600 a year are being updated. And to tell the truth, it was 60,000 when I first said about it. So they've done a huge amount, but maybe we've really pushed them, because if it's gone up 20,000 in a few months, we are really pushing on that. And, that's a good result for us. I think, and I haven't had a number from them, these are just my numbers. I think there's 250,000 to do, and they've done 80,000. I'm happy for JLR to tell me the number, but every time I've asked, they haven't given it to me. So these are I just went through how many are built, how many maybe have keyless entry, which I think could be quite a lot. It's quite a nice feature. It may be less, I might be wrong, but I think it's roughly 250,000. It is going to take a long time to get through them unless we really push and we really get them done. This is the only way. Further information based on your YouTube content, residual values. As you know, residual values are now realigning across the board following a temporary spike in response to used car shortages. Well, I've done a video on that. I don't need to be told that, I know. What is strange is that it's saying that Range Rover Defender Discovery residual values are the strongest in the premium large SUV sector, offering the lowest levels of depreciation in the sector. Okay, but I need to know where that's from, because that's my game. That's what I like, that's what I enjoy. I'm happy to vet that and just have a look, because a lot of the stuff that's coming out here is like, it's a myth. Well, it's not a myth, there's theft. And I like facts. I'd rather say, compared to this is the residual. Reimagine, for total clarity, under our Reimagine strategy, JLR is investing 15 billion over the next 5 years to electrify our luxury brands, which is key to reaching net zero carbon emissions across our supply chain, products and operations by 2039, and our plans are on track. This is not a reaction to vehicle thefts, rather than a full organisational transformation. The entire industry is in transformation, the biggest transformation in its history. Okay. Now I'll give you an example on this. And I obviously like to do, outside the box thinking. These electric cars aren't being stolen really, Teslas, that type of stuff. If you've got a hybrid car, why didn't they put the tracker in with the battery? Because you can't get it out. And you could run it off the battery. You could have a separate battery source in the battery to power a tracker. It's just an idea, but it seems pretty logical to me to do. And I know you guys have got some great comments on stuff like pin entry. We've got all this technology, we've got all these screens and tech in there. Surely it can't be difficult to put a pin entry in. Recalls, a few words on the definition of a recall. Recall is a proactive repair to migrate against a safety or compliance related defect. It is a legal requirement and something we must notify to authorities. The security update we are running is discretionary service campaign, as there is no safety or compliance related defect. Okay. Current production cars are robust to keyless theft and theft methods used today. We're not in use at the time of build of previous generation vehicles. They were built in accordance to the highest security standards and accredited by Thatcham. Okay, based on the previous message. Okay, yeah. So I was going to have a call with them Friday, but obviously I was at Brands Hatch. But this is a a good update. I think it's given us what we need. I think from my point of view, I'm going to push on with this insurance because I'm going to get a better deal. As good as that, and because down the road I might want one. I think this has got a lot to run, unless they can say to me it's not. I think if they're doing 12,000 a year and there's a lot of cars there, we've got a lot of problems there. I'll give you another update on insurance and what they've said to me, what I think of this new sort of policy we could sort of make between us to help us. Individual owners of Land Rovers, it's not good. But if we could do something with your home insurance and something else, I think we can reduce it. But most insurance companies want a multi-car policy, so at least 2 cars and maybe your home insurance. From my point of view, I'm happy to move my home insurance. I've already gone through that with them. I don't have any allegiance to my home insurance provider. It's not like I see them or hear from them. I just want the best deal. And it's a very big company I'm working with, second biggest actually in the world. For insurance. So and I've had, I don't know, multiple phone calls, multiple WhatsApps even today saying I'm excited, I want to do it, I'm an entrepreneur, what can we do, how can we improve things from where it is. So bit of a long update, but yeah, I just keep pushing. Let's keep pushing. I think we're doing a good job. I think we've done a lot of stuff that's really helped owners. I think on the radio I said about, you can disable keyless entry. There's stuff all of you are doing that I see on the comments that is helping. So yeah, so please like, share, subscribe. Be great if we can get this video around even more. And if I can get this insurance going, which I will, we need to get a group consortium together and really build a great product for you and reduce these premiums. So yeah, hope you enjoy this video and I'll see you again soon.